618 years ago, on 15th June in the third year of the Yongle reign of the Ming Dynasty, corresponding to 11th July 1405 of the Gregorian Calendar, Chen Ho was appointed by imperial order to lead the first mission to the countries bordering South China Sea and Indian Ocean. Over the next 28 years, he undertook 7 voyages, traveling as far as the mouth of Jubba River in Africa and Tianfang in the Arabian Peninsula of West Asia, now known as the Holy City of Mecca in present-day Saudi Arabia. These expeditions spanned the reigns of 3 emperors: Emperor Hsüan-tsung, Emperor Jen-tsung, and Emperor Hsüan-tsung. They are known to the world as the Voyages of Eunuch San-pao to the Western Seas, and initiated an unprecedented chapter in Chinese navigation. The long bygone years since the inaugural voyage, the size of the fleet, and the sea distance covered were unmatched by Western explorers. To honor the 550th anniversary of Chen Ho's first expedition, the government of the Republic of China designated 11th July as the Maritime Day of the Republic of China in the 44th year of the Republic, 1955. According to the History of Ming Dynasty, Volume 304, Chapter 192 on Eunuchs, the biography of Chen Ho, it says, Chen Ho, a native of Yunnan province, was also known as Eunuch San-pao. He initially served Prince Yan at his estate and demonstrated meritorious military skill during the insurrection, leading to various promotions as an eunuch. Emperor Cheng-tsung suspected that Emperor Hsüan-tsung had fled overseas. He not only wished to track him down, but at the same time wanted to demonstrate Chinese military power abroad to showcase China's wealth and strength. In June, in the third year of the Yongle reign, 1405, Chen Ho and his colleagues, including Wang Jinghong, were ordered to undertake a mission as emissary to the Western Seas. The expedition consisted of more than 27,800 officers and soldiers, and they brought a lot of gold coins to distribute overseas as rewards. Large ships were constructed. There were 62 ships that measured 44 zhang in length and 18 zhang in width. The fleet departed from Liujia River in Suzhou, arrived in Fujian, then set sail from Wuhu Gate, first reaching Champa in Vietnam, then voyaged onwards to many foreign countries. They proclaimed the decree of the emperor and bestowed gifts upon the rulers. In cases where the locals did not submit, force was used to intimidate them. Chen Ho was born in the 4th year of the Hongwu reign, 1371. The exact year of his death is difficult to determine. Historians deduce that he passed away sometime between the 8th year, 1433, and the 10th year, 1435, of the Xuande reign. If he did pass away in the 8th year of the Xuande reign, it would be exactly 590 years ago this year. Epitaph of the late Mr. Ma, written by Li Zigang, the Minister of Rites, and engraved on the tomb stele of Zheng He's father in the third year of the Yongle reign, 1405, provides much family information. Part of it reads, his name was Ha Zi, his surname was Ma. For generations, the Ma family lived in Kunyangzhou of Yunnan province. His grandfather was Fei Yan. His grandmother's maiden name was Ma. His father was Ha Zi. His mother's maiden name was Wen. He married a lady whose maiden name was also Wen, well known for her virtuous qualities. They had two sons, the elder named Wen Ming, the younger named He, and there were 4 other daughters. He showed talent and ambition from a young age. He served the current emperor, who granted him the surname Zheng and appointed him as eunuch in the Directorate of Palace Eunuchs. This clarified that the original Han surname of Zheng He was Ma, and he was a Muslim from Yunnan. The surname Zheng was bestowed on him by Emperor Yongle. The history of Ming Dynasty records that Zheng He initially served Prince Yan. Prince Yan was the 4th son of the Ming Dynasty founder, Taizhu, Zhu Yuanzhuang. The name of Prince Yan was Zhu Di, 1360 to 1424. In the 31st year of the Hongwu reign, 1398, Taizhu passed away. The following year, in the first year of the Jianwen reign, 1399, Emperor Hsüan-tsung, whose original name was Zhu Yunwen, ascended the throne and intended to reduce the power of the vassal princess. In response, Prince Yan launched an uprising and rebelled. In the 4th year of the Jianwen reign, 1402, Prince Yan captured the capital Nanking, changed the reign title to Yongle, and was posthumously known as Emperor Chengzu. This event is known in history as the Jingnan Rebellion. The fate of Emperor Jianwen remained hazy. His old ministers like Feng Xiaoru, 1357 to 1402, refused to surrender and even wrote the 4 words, Yan thief usurped the throne, which eventually led to his execution along with all the relatives on his father's side, his mother's side, his wife's side, and his student's side, a practice of intimidation known as the slaughter of the 10 family branches. This elucidates the terror weaponized by tyrants and why they must be completely eradicated. The history of Ming Dynasty also mentions that Emperor Chengzu suspected that Emperor Huizong had fled overseas and wished to track him down. Thus, Zheng He's voyages to the western seas also carried the secret order to exterminate all surviving loyalists to the last emperor, as well as the last emperor, should he be encountered overseas. Zheng He's demeanor and talent were also recorded in other historical texts. The unofficial history of Ming Dynasty describes Zheng He as intelligent, knowledgeable in strategy and warfare, and experienced in battles. The Book of Ming Dynasty mentions that he had a stout and imposing physique, eloquent and astute. The Ming Dynasty scholar official and fortune teller Yuan Zhongce was particularly graphic in describing Zheng He's appearance in his work, Gu Jing Si Jian. The text says, The eunuch Ts'un He is also known as Sanbo, a native of Yunnan province. He stood 9 feet tall, with a trunk-like waist. His forehead, cheeks, and jaw were pronounced. His nose was small. Those with such facial characteristics would attain high positions in life. His ears were white, extending beyond his face. His teeth were neat like a string of shells. His gait resembled that of a tiger, and his voice was sonorous. He gained recognition for his achievements in the Jingnan Rebellion and was appointed as eunuch in the Directorate of Palace Eunuchs. When Emperor Yongle wished to reach out to the foreigners in East and South, he sought advice about entrusting troops to Sanbo. I replied, "The appearance, talent, and intellect of Sanbo surpass all other eunuchs. Observing his aura and countenance, I believe he is indeed suitable for the task." Thus, he was entrusted to proceed, and wherever he went, he was feared and respected. Ts'un He was indeed a military talent, distinguishing himself in helping Prince Yan usurp the throne. In January of the second year of the Yongle reign, 1404, he was selected as eunuch in the Directorate of Palace Eunuchs. In the following year, he was promoted as envoy of important missions to foreign lands. According to the history of Ming Dynasty, Ts'un He's fleet consisted of 62 larger vessels, known as Bao ship or treasure ship, each 44 zhang in length and 18 zhang in width, and listing nearly 27,800 officers and soldiers. If we use excavated ruler from Ming archaeological site as reference, 1 zhang is equal to 2.83 meters. Hence, a Bao ship would be about 124.52 meters long and 50.94 meters wide. 87 years after the third year of the Yongle reign, 1405, which is 1492, the Italian navigator Christopher Columbus led 3 ships across the Atlantic Ocean, reaching the islands of the West Indies in the Americas. He had about 90 crew members, and the largest ship, the Santa Maria, was 90 meters long and 5.5 meters wide. "114 years after the third year of the Yongle reign, 1405, which is 1519, the former Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan led 5 ships and discovered a passage connecting Chile in South America with the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, later named the Strait of Magellan. The fleet had about 234 crew members, and their most famous ship, the Victoria, was approximately 18 to 21 meters long. The great maritime expeditions of the West took place nearly 100 years after the Chinese expeditions. However, in terms of ship size, number of vessels, and crew members, they were worlds apart in comparison with Ts'un He's fleet. Altogether, Ts'un He sailed 7 times to the Western Seas. The departure dates and the routes are as follows. For the first voyage, the fleet departed in the winter of the third year of the Yongle reign, 1405. They reached Champa in Vietnam, Siam, Java and Palembang in Indonesia, Malacca in Malaysia, Ceylon, Calicut in India. For the second voyage, the fleet departed in the winter of the 5th year of the Yongle reign, 1407. They reached Champa in Vietnam, Siam, Kalimantan, Java in Indonesia, Malacca in Malaysia, Ceylon, Kochi, and Calicut in India. For the third voyage, the fleet departed in December of the 7th year of the Yongle reign, which corresponds to January 1410. They reached Champa in Vietnam, Siam, Java in Indonesia, the Maldives, Kolam, Kochi, and Calicut in India. For the fourth voyage, the fleet departed in the winter of the 11th year of the Yongle reign, 1413. They reached Champa in Vietnam, Java in Indonesia, Kalimantan, Pahang, and Malacca in Malaysia, Ceylon, the Maldives, Kochi, and Calicut in India, Mogadishu in Somalia, Hormuz in Iran, and Kisiwani in Tanzania. For the fifth voyage, they departed in the winter of the 5th year of the Yongle reign, 1417. They reached Champa in Vietnam, Java in Indonesia, Pahang and Malacca in Malaysia, Ceylon, Kochi, and Calicut in India, the Maldives, Mogadishu and Barawa in Somalia, Aden in Yemen, Mokalla in the southern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, Hormuz in Iran, and Kisiwani in Tanzania. For the sixth voyage, the fleet departed in the 19th year of the Yongle reign, 1421. They reached Champa in Vietnam, Siam, Malacca in Malaysia, Bangor in India, Ceylon, Kochi and Calicut in India, Dofa in Oman, Aden in Yemen, Mokalla in the southern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, Mogadishu and Barawa in Somalia, Hormuz in Iran. For the seventh voyage, the fleet departed on 9th December in the 6th year of Hsüan-tsung reign, which corresponds to 12th January 1432. They reached Champa in Vietnam, Siam, Java, Palembang, and Sumatra in Indonesia, Malacca in Malaysia, Ceylon, Kolam, Kochi, and Calicut in India, the Maldives, Hormuz in Iran, Dofa in Oman, Aden in Yemen, Mokalla on the southern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, Mecca in Saudi Arabia, Mogadishu, Barawa, and Kismayo in Somalia. Zheng He's first three voyages went as far as India. The fourth voyage reached Iran in the Middle East, Somalia and Tanzania in Africa. The fifth voyage reached Yemen in the Middle East, Somalia and Tanzania in Africa. The sixth voyage reached Oman and Yemen in the Middle East, Somalia in Africa. The seventh voyage reached Oman and Saudi Arabia in the Middle East and Somalia in Africa. Zheng He's exploits have long been adapted into novels and dramas. In the 25th year of the Wan Li reign, 1597, Luo Maodeng wrote 三宝太监下西洋 Chronicle of Eunuch San-pao's Voyages to the Western Seas, also known as 三宝太监下西洋 通俗演义, the popular fiction of Eunuch San-pao's voyages to the Western Seas. In late Qing, Peng Heling wrote 三宝太监下西洋. As for dramas, in late Ming during the Wan Li reign, there was 奉天命 三宝下西洋, San-pao's Voyages by Imperial Decree to the Western Seas, written by an anonymous author. In the last century, with the flourishing of the film industry, The Hong Kong shipping magnate Uncle C.Y. Tung propositioned to raise funds to make a movie about the story of eunuch San-宝太监in the 43rd year of the Republic, 1954. Although fundraising was unsuccessful and came to nothing, his enthusiasm towards this project did not wane for decades. He continued to promote the film concept on a great number of occasions. He engaged well-known scriptwriters such as Uncle Yao Ke, the dramatist, and Uncle Ma Han-yu, the novelist, also known as Nan Gong Bo, to write the screenplays for the Eunuch San-pao movie. The writings left behind by Yao Ke and Nan Gong Bo follow the Ming and Qing tradition of novels and dramas about Ts'un He, and they should be rightfully appreciated in this context. Uncle Yao Ke wrote a summary of the screenplay titled Movie Scenario of Admiral Ts'un He, which was published on 30th June in the 49th year of the Republic, 1960, in issue number 189 of the Maritime Digest bi-monthly magazine. At the time, my late father, Mr. Song Xun-ren, was chief editor of the Maritime Digest. In another 7 years, in August of the 56th year of the Republic, 1967, Uncle Ma Han-yu, also known as Nan Gong Bo, wrote an abridgment based on his new screenplay. It was printed by the Maritime Digest editorial office of the Chinese Maritime Corporation as a bilingual promotional booklet using the same title, Movie Scenario of Admiral Ts'un He. It comes with an English translation by Uncle Wang Sheng-ming. In March the following year, the complete new screenplay by Uncle Ma Han-yu was printed by Hong Kong Maritime Film Services Limited. The title is First Draft of the Movie Scenario of Admiral Ts'un He. As few copies were printed, it is possible that this single copy found amongst my late father's belongings is the only extant copy. This almost lost work by Uncle Ma Han-yu now reappears to the delight of readers everywhere. In June of the 71st year of the Republic, 1982, the Hong Kong magazine Da Chen published an article written by the Chinese medicine practitioner Uncle Chen Chun-ren, titled C.Y. Dong, the Shipping Magnate of a Generation. Later, this article was reprinted in the book The World of C.Y. Dong, edited by Alice Dong Jianping and Zheng Huixing. There's a passage regarding the movie scenario of Admiral Cheng Ho. It says, Mr. Tung knew many people in the artistic circle and wished to make a movie about the eunuch San-pao Cheng Ho. At first, he paid 6,000 Hong Kong dollars to Yao Ke to write an outline of the screenplay. Yao Ke is also a good friend of mine, and in order to ensure that the story followed the facts, he borrowed my book, The Legacy of Cheng Ho. However, Yao Ke was slow. After several reminders, he finally submitted an outline of the screenplay with over 1,000 words. Mr. Dong thought his story lacked dramatic appeal, so he asked Ma Hanyu, the famous novelist whose nom de plume is Nan Gong Bo, to write the screenplay in the form of a novel. Mr. Dong was thrilled when he received the manuscript. He then sought the translation service of Mr. Xu Yu, president of the Hong Kong English Pen Club, and the screenplay was translated into English. Despite the involvement of 3 renowned writers, Mr. Dong was still concerned about historical accuracy and asked me to write a study of the 7 voyages of the eunuch San-pao Cheng Ho. I therefore researched the historical facts and wrote an article which was published serially in Dacheng magazine. With this rich material in hand, Mr. Dong at one time considered inviting the famous American actor Yul Brynner to play the role of Cheng Ho. However, Yul Brynner asked for a fee as much as $1 million. Mr. Dong thought it was too high, so the matter was put on hold. The account by Uncle Chen Chunren that Uncle Yao Ke submitted an outline of the screenplay with over 1,000 words is not accurate. His outline for movie scenario of Admiral Cheng Ho contains a total of 10,283 words and punctuations. It is also not true that he then sought the translation service of Mr. Xu Yu, president of the Hong Kong English Pen Club, and the screenplay was translated into English. It is unclear the source of his claim. The front cover of movie scenario of Admiral Cheng Ho by Nan Gong Bo has 2 small printed lines in English, stating Chinese text by Nan Gong Bo, translated by Sherman Wong. Uncle Sherman Wong, Sun Ming, was an erudite diplomat of the Republic of China, proficient in both Chinese and English languages. At one time, he was stationed in Japan and traveled frequently to Hong Kong. Uncle C.Y. Dong, 1912 to 1982, was originally named Sao Rong. His English abbreviations CY were derived from the original name. However, to Chinese, he was known as Dong Hao Yun. His family was from Dinghai, Zhejiang province, but he was born in Shanghai. In the 29th year of the Republic of China, 1940, he founded the Chinese Maritime Trust Company, and in the following year, he registered the company in Hong Kong. In December of the 30th year of the Republic, 1941, when the Japanese occupied the Shanghai concessions and Hong Kong, his company came under Japanese control. In the 34th year of the Republic, 1945, China came out victorious in the War of Resistance against Japanese aggression. In the following year, he established the Chinese Maritime Company. In the 38th year of the Republic, 1949, as mainland China fell to the communists, he followed the government to Taiwan. In the 48th year of the Republic, 1959, he became one of Asia's pioneering ship owners to construct large oil tankers. In the 62nd year of the Republic, 1973, he established the Orient Overseas Container Line in Hong Kong. Uncle Tung's fleet comprised 150 large vessels. In the 59th year of the Republic, 1970, he acquired the ocean liner Queen Elizabeth and renamed it Seawise University, and became the first ever seaborne university in history. Apart from his talent in shipping, he was also deeply dedicated to cultural endeavors. Uncle Yao Ke, 1905 to 1991, was originally named Ziyi. He was also known as Ke, Zi Xinglong. He was a native of Anhui Province, but born in Xiamen. In the 20th year of the Republic, 1931, he graduated from Suzhou University and worked at the World Book Company in Shanghai, responsible for editorial work and translation. In the 24th year of the Republic, 1935, he served as editor for the English monthly magazine Tianxia. In the 26th year of the Republic, 1937, he was editor for the English monthly magazine Democracy. In the 27th year of the Republic, 1938, he went to Yale University in the United States as a researcher at the School of Drama. In the 29th year of the Republic, 1940, he returned to Shanghai to teach at Fudan University and St. John's University. In the 36th year of the Republic, 1947, he was English editor at the Central News Agency. In the 38th year of the Republic, 1949, as mainland China fell to the communists, he moved to Hong Kong and worked as a movie scriptwriter. In the 45th year of the Republic, 1956, he taught at New Asia College, and in the 50th year of the Republic, 1961, he taught at the Chinese Department of United College. In the 58th year of the Republic, 1969, he was recruited by the University of Hawaii and settled in the United States. In his lifetime, he produced a large amount of works. His screenplay was particularly singled out and attacked by the Chinese Communist Party on 30th March 1967 with an article titled Patriotism or Treachery, a critique of the historical film Malice of Empire. He was renowned for his spirited counterattack. Commentators all praised him for his moral courage as an intellectual. Uncle Ma Hanyu, 1924 to 1983, was originally named Bing. His pen names were Nan Gong Bo, Si-jen, Xu-jen, Ma Bing, Bi Guang, Xi-jen. He was a native of Yuyao, Zhejiang Province. He graduated from Zhejiang University and served as editor and chief editor of 扫荡报 in Wuhan, 和平日报 in Chongqing, and 和平时报 in Shanghai. In the 38th year of the Republic of China, 1949, as mainland China fell to the communists, he went to Taiwan to manage 真信新闻报. Later, he became director of China Times. He gained acclaim for his historical novels and authored more than 60 works. In my collection, there is a precious album with the essay Inception, written by my late father, Mr. Song Xun-leng. The essay Inception was used for fundraising of the Chen Ho movie. It is a classical composition in the literary form of bianwen, or rhythmical prose. The calligraphy is in the style of small regular script, also by my late father, executed in the 43rd year of the Republic, 1954. Following the essay Inception, there is the simple prospectus of Four Seas Film Corporation Limited, also composed and handwritten by my late father, at the end of which are the signatures of 4 persons: Mr. Yang Guanbei, Uncle C.Y. Tung, Mr. Xu Baohua, and Li Ziyi. One can surmise the company was named Four Seas Film Corporation Limited during the stage of fundraising. But after failing to fundraise, Uncle C.Y. Tung funded the project on his own, and the company was renamed Maritime Film Services Limited. The text of the essay Inception reads, in modern times, whenever people speak of ocean navigation and applaud the explorations of new territories, everyone pays tributes to Vasco da Gama for navigating the Cape of Good Hope, Christopher Columbus for discovering the New World, and Ferdinand Magellan for crossing the strait to sail the Pacific Ocean. However, if one tries to discuss China's great maritime achievements, one becomes hesitant and dejected. It is assumed that having lived through long periods of peace and contentment, who will seek the wonders of the boundless oceans? It is assumed that having fulfilled their desires, who will explore the remote and solitary dangers of cloud-covered mountains? Who would have known that decades before the pioneers of the West, a compatriot, Admiral Chen Ho, already led dozens of enormous vessels with crews of tens of thousands, made 7 ocean voyages from the 3rd year of the Yongle reign, 1405, to the 7th year of the Hsüan-tsung reign, 1432, over a period of more than 20 years. He extensively visited Vietnam, Java, Palembang, Siam, Malacca, traveled through the islands of the South Seas before reaching the shores of Ceylon and Kochi in the Indian Ocean. Sailing westwards to the Red Sea, he arrived at Mecca, then voyaged south to Africa, reaching the shores of Madagascar. His voyages covered tens of thousands of nautical miles. He conveyed the edicts of the imperial court to pacify more than 40 countries. During his diplomatic expeditions to all these various countries, he promoted the power and benevolence of China, quelled rebellions and restored order. He defeated Chen Zhuyi, bringing peace to Palembang, conciliated with Tuban, and stabilized Java, arrested Alaga Nara, leading to the establishment of friendly ties with Ceylon, earned the gratitude of Indonesia by subjugating Sakanda. His achievements were many and glorious, leaving lasting impact in history. As for the gifts and honors bestowed along the voyages and proclamations of the grace and benevolence of China, the odes to frontier accomplishments and their commemorative steles remain intact. To this day, they can be found in the regions of South Seas and India, bearing witness to his historical records. To the places where his reputation and teaching spread, 40 nations either presented rare treasures and pledged fealty or offered tribute as a gesture of sincere deference. It was truly a bright and splendid time between China and foreign countries, and peace and harmony in East Asia. It can be called a prosperous age. As for the magnificence of the fleet, the thoroughness of the organization, the distances covered, and the duration of the voyages, they went far beyond the imagination of those few explorers of the West. Further, the voyages served as both cultural and diplomatic missions, prioritizing peaceful engagement over political and military action. If it were not for their remarkable maritime expertise, how could they have paved way for today's naval escorts? Indeed, are not the regions of the South Seas, India, Africa, and such lands places where Chinese people have settled and flourished? Unfortunately, in later times, those who hold power in government fail to show concern and empathy for their people in distant lands and have nothing to do with them, resulting in disappointment to tens of thousands, and those who reside in foreign countries feel disconnected. A few strong-willed and self-confident clans ventured to develop their new frontiers and became formidable adversaries. However, they are from the same stock and share a common origin. In recent times, the turmoils in mainland China are causing widespread sufferings and hardships. Their reckless initiation of wars have only intensified grievances and discontent. Reflecting on the present and recalling the past, one is overwhelmed by loss and melancholy. The playwright Mr. Yao Ke is a talented and versatile man, renowned in artistic circles. In the midst of our country's mayhem, he is like Gen Xing, 513 to 581, lamenting his profound grief. In the midst of our country's fall, he is like Wang Cai, 177 to 217, articulating his lonesome sentiments. Dismayed by the distancing of the past, bemoaning the uncertainties of upheavals, he gathers the books on the history of the Ming Dynasty, as well as a volume of Xin Ca Shen Lan. Meticulously, he sifted through all the stories and anecdotes concerning the voyages of Admiral Chen Ho, separating the grain from the chaff, and writing the screenplay for the movie scenario of Admiral Chen Ho. Under cinematic lighting, the camera will capture the distant shores and the remote peaks. On the performing stage, songs and dance will depict the remarkable achievements of our former country. It is not just about grandiose scale. It will evoke our memories of the majesty of the great Han Empire. The delightful presentation itself will be sufficient to inspire admiration and reverence from future generations. For those of us who studied history in our childhood, we are now encountering turmoil and separation in our adulthood, becoming wanderers in this world. Our earnest aspirations to serve the country have been in vain. Working against the tempest, our efforts have yet to bear fruit. As I ponder on the production of this film, it will not only document the grand achievements of the Ming Dynasty, but will also promote the indomitable spirit of the Chinese in the context of maritime exploration. It is most meaningful and should be strongly promoted. However, starting the film production process requires massive mobilization of people, multiple outdoor locations, and many film props. Without sufficient funding, it would be difficult to achieve the desired outcome. Moreover, with the present downturn in industry and commerce, with a difficult economy, the only practical way is to appeal to willing individuals from all walks of life. It is only through collective effort and joint investment that perhaps enough resources can be gathered to achieve this goal, like assembling a coat from pieces of fur or building a tower with gathered sand. If funding arrives promptly, it is expected that film production can start in late autumn or early winter. This timing aligns with the 550th anniversary of Admiral Cheng Ho's first voyage to the Western Seas, providing an opportune moment for the release of the movie. As for box office returns, considering its significance in promoting the history of the motherland and the close connection with various places in the South Seas, it is envisaged that theaters and cinemas overseas would compete eagerly for its screening and audiences would jockey to watch it. This essay is followed by the simple prospectus of Four Seas Film Corporation Limited. It reads: 1. Company name. The company is named Four Seas Film Corporation Limited. 2. Organization. The company is a limited company organized in accordance with the company's ordinance approved by the government of Hong Kong. 3. Business. With the aim of increasing the interest of Chinese people in modern maritime affairs and to promote the pioneering spirit of our ancestors in maritime exploration, the company has decided to produce its first film project based on the screenplay Eunuch San-pao. The film subject is based on the historical story of the Eunuch San-pao Cheng Ho's 7 voyages to the Western Seas during the Yongle era of the Ming Dynasty. Subsequent film productions will be decided by the Board of Directors following the completion of the first film. 4. Share capital. The share capital of the company is 500,000 Hong Kong dollars, divided into 50 shares of 10,000 Hong Kong dollars each, payable in full in a single payment. During the subscription period, subscribers shall complete the subscription form and submit it to the preparatory office. Dividends. In accordance with the company's ordinance approved by the Hong Kong government, dividends will be distributed as determined by the shareholders' meeting. 6. Company location. The company's head office is in Hong Kong. Branch offices or liaison offices may be established in Southeast Asia and other foreign locations according to business needs. Prior to the formal establishment of the company, a preparatory office is set up at Unit 401, Loxie Apartments, Hillwood Road, Kowloon. 7. Promoters Meeting. Once the preparations are complete, the promoters meeting will be convened. Regular shareholder meetings will be held, directors will be elected, and all necessary legal procedures will be handled. Promoters: Yang Guanbei, C.Y. Tung, Xu Baohua, Li Ziyi. Seal impression on first page of album, seal of Song Xunlun. Uncle C.Y. Tung passed away in the 71st year of the Republic, 1982. At that time, there was at least one kindred spirit infatuated with the movie scenario of Admiral Cheng Ho. His brother-in-law, Uncle Kuo-min, contemplated to follow through Uncle C.Y. Tung's unfulfilled aspiration to produce this film. In my father's letter to Uncle Kuo-min, dated 5th April in the 79th year of the Republic, 1990, there was a rather detailed account of the various aspects of the 2 screenplays for the movie scenario of Admiral Cheng Ho. The letter says, "Upon your second phone call, I personally visited the post office to send this letter on 5th April. I am most surprised that you did not receive it. I have now made 2 more copies sent by registered mail, one to the company and one to your residence, with a few minor revisions to the text. Dear Kuo-min, my elder brother, I have followed your request and sent the following printed materials by airmail. A copy of the essay Inception that relates to the joint stock offerings by Haoyun C.Y. and Yang Guanbei for the filming of the movie on Admiral Chen Ho. The essay Inception was written by me. It includes the years, regions, and achievements of Chen Ho's voyages. It was composed in the literary form of bianwen, or rhythmical prose, and seemingly can be recited. 3 years ago, Chen Yuzai asked for information on San-pao. I gave him the essay Inception, but not the other material. A book published in Taiwan titled A Study of Chen Ho's Maritime Routes. Huang Yao's book chronicles of the Chinese in Singapore and Malaysia, which contains several accounts related to Chen Ho. However, the copyright of the movie story and screenplay of movie scenario of Admiral Chen Ho, written by Nan Gongbo, belongs to Haoyun's C.Y. Maritime Film Services Limited. Haoyun managed this company himself after the failed stock offering. Currently, after the restructuring of Island Navigation Group, it is likely Maritime Film Services Limited has ceased to exist. Since I was one of the past directors of this company, copyright involves legal issues, and I should not make decisions on my own. At the very least, there should be another director who agrees to transfer it to you, to avoid the possibility of me being blamed or slandered by others. Can you please discuss with your nephew, Jianhua, who is close by? You can ask him to send me a letter or give me a phone call, in which case I will promptly make a copy of the entire screenplay and storybook to send you. I still wish to keep the original for 2 reasons. Firstly, in memory of my deceased friend Nan Gongbo. Secondly, as a memento of my past involvement and assistance to Maritime Film Services Limited. Jianhua was one of the directors of this company. If he happens to keep a copy of this screenplay, it would then be even more convenient. The English translation of the Chinese name 三宝太监 is Admiral Chen Ho. The English translation of the Chinese name Nan Gongbo is Nan Gongbo. The movie story by Nan Gongbo had been previously translated into English by Sherman Wang Sen-ming and is included in the storybook. The initial choice for scriptwriter was Yao Ke. He was even sent by Haoyun C.Y. to visit Japan in person to study the Japanese methods of making model ships so that they could be filmed for the movie. At that time, Yao Ke had written an article titled Movie Scenario of Admiral Chen Ho, which I published in the Maritime Digest bi-monthly magazine. However, Yao Ke did not write any screenplay. His story is straightforward and uninteresting, missing on dramatic effect. Therefore, Haoyun C.Y. later engaged Nan Gongbo to write another story, which was formally developed into a screenplay. Haoyun C.Y. paid for the script, thus the copyright belongs to Maritime Film Services Limited. This company was registered in Hong Kong. Nan Gongbo was expert in rewriting historical stories, and his works can be found in various newspapers. According to his screenplay for Chen Ho, he inserted an unusual plot twist where Chen Ho, as an eunuch, became involved in a passionate love story with a foreign woman. creating intense conflicts both mentally and physically. The story has multiple highlights and a lot of dramatic impact. However, this is still the first draft of the screenplay, and it is somewhat lengthy. It should be condensed before official production to make it more compact. Kuo-min, my elder brother, you are always steady and cautious. This time, I know not what drives you to contemplate taking on such a risky endeavor of making this film with no certainty of success. I am truly astonished. Uncle Gu Kuo-min passed away in the 99th year of the Republic, 2010, according to the Gregorian Calendar. It had been exactly 20 years since he received this letter, and no progress whatsoever was made in the filming of this movie. Uncle Gu Kuo-min, 1924 to 2010, was a native of Ningbo, Zhejiang Province. His father Zhong Rui was an early pioneer of Chinese shipping. While in Shanghai, he worked at Taicangxiang Steamship Company, founded by his father. In the 38th year of the Republic, 1949, when mainland China fell to the communists, he moved to Hong Kong and set up Valley Steamship Company Limited. In 1980, he was elected chairman of the Hong Kong Shipowners Association. 69 years have passed by since my father wrote the essay Inception for the Admiral Chen Ho movie in the 43rd year of the Republic, 1954. The huge investment required and lack of certainty in recovering the capital were the main reasons why Uncle Hsüan-tsung did not proceed with the filming of the movie. Today, with the rapid advancement in digital special effects, it may be possible to make significant savings on location shootings and large-scale movie sets. Perhaps Chen Ho, the world's premier navigator, may finally inspire someone to produce a movie to celebrate his remarkable achievements.